Welcome to another episode of the Swine and Cheesy Hour with your host, the Todd Father, also known as the Toddy Boy. He goes by many names and many personalities. Please enter the conversation if you want to share. And now, let me introduce you to...
Me! It's me! I am here for another Swine and Cheesy Hour. We change the name of the show every week. But I hope you got at least a glass of wine or a water or a soda or something. So we are coming tonight live outside of the Waldorf Astoria here in Orlando, the Orlando NBA bubble. It's a nice hotel. It's has a nice pool. We're locked down and it's pretty good though. So we'll talk a little bit about bubble. We'll talk about a lot of things. We have some fun. We're hoping Roland comes on, talk about his hole-in-one and his recent Emmy Award win. We can show my debut of my karaoke song. Of course, we're going to bring in some guests, and it's been a fun time here. It's been I'm halfway through, and we got halfway through. I thought we were going to get a nicer background, but it's a little dark. Maybe next time we'll go on earlier. So I'm going to show you a little bit of, let's see. We had an electrical storm here the other night. So let's play this storm if we can. Of course, it's not working. There we go. There we go. A little bit of electrical storm there. So we had that was some wild stuff, the electrical storm. So let's add another one. Let's show another one of that. We're going to bring our guests on, and here we go. Check out this one. This was shot in super slow-mo of the storm we had the other night. We had lightning fingers, and imagine what it was like back then in the prehistoric times when they didn't know what was going on. I mean, we didn't know what was going on, anything. So I'm going to bring some guests on while we're here. And oh, by the way, those were taken by me, not a camera person. I'd like to challenge some camera people to put up their lightning videos, because I saw some videos and I can't believe they couldn't do better than me. So we're going to bring on some guests and we'll talk about some stuff. So we got Lou here, and then we got Jeff. We got Lou down in New Orleans, and let's bring Lou on.
Good evening, young man.
Oh, hello there, Mr. Schumann.
So, how are you? In the bubble.
In the bubble. Lou is doing some. Lou, you've been doing some games down in New Orleans, right?
Just got through with 9 of them in 2 weeks.
9. Yep, that's 9. So, how did you do 9? Oh, it was one of the
scrimmages.
One of the scrimmages. And how'd they come out for you guys down there?
Pretty good. We had a pretty good thing. We did them as a reproduction. We dropped the scoreboard in the Smoothie King Center.
Right.
We set Antonio and Joel right there, and they called the game, watching it on the big screen. Took a clean feed.
Oh, so you did it. Folks. You did it. You did it from the arena.
Yep.
Now let me ask you: did they give you all Smoothie Kings while you were there?
No, the building was closed just to us.
So the Smoothie King, is that smoothies or a bed? Which is the one that has a bed? Is that Sacramento?
I think so. Yeah, we have the drinks.
Yeah, you have the drinks, and they let you. They left you thirsty over there. So how'd they come out? What do you think? You think they came out successful?
Pretty good. We had a bunch of issues at the beginning, mostly the 8 stand coming from Secaucus, with the feeds from Orlando through Secaucus down to New Orleans, pulling feeds at the last minute and stuff like that. The biggest critique I have was the walk-off position. I mean, they didn't mic it right, and it sounded horrible.
Oh, you have some technical.
The post game, we didn't have technical. It was being fed to us poorly.
That's interesting. Did you give them feedback? Did you provide feedback to?
Sure did, on a daily basis.
And did it improve?
Nope.
So you were getting the feed from
we were taking a
networks.
Clean feed, yeah, depending on who was
right
and what building it was in. We were either getting it from TNT or we were getting it from ESPN.
All right. And you had the same issue either way, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because our shows, maybe it was different for the regionals, but our shows were pretty good with the sideline reporters. But yours, how would you say the problem was? What would you say the problem was?
It was communication more than anything else.
Right.
And again, like I said, it was not necessarily the clean feed, ESPN or TNT.
Right.
It was in the return to us through Secaucus in the H-SAN. And for people who don't know what that is, that's the high-speed arena net. That's how the individual teams feed their highlights to the league.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the first time that it was used in a reverse, where all the cameras and feeds were being routed to each individual venue.
Yeah, it's the everything is looking pretty good. I'm gonna, before I get into, well, let's see, you how would the I'm gonna do a quick you have the, I'm gonna go full here for this. How'd the Pelicans end up doing there? They didn't
Out
oh, they're in the West or the East?
west.
In the West. I don't even know what league I'm doing. Jeez, I do these things every week and I don't even know where I am.
Let's put it this way. After the game last night, they showered and got out of Dodge.
Yeah. Well, I normally get out of Dodge, but I don't shower. So so let's bring on some of our other friends. And we got Jeff out in Chicago. Hello, Mr. Miller.
Good morning, Mr.
I think we have a little
boy.
feedback. I think we have a little feedback on your end.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
you know what?
I
I'll
finally
shut
got
off.
it right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe that's because I had
There we go.
MLB. I had MLB TV on in the background.
There we go. There
So
we go.
good evening to you, and good evening to Lou down in Louisiana.
Yeah, we got a lot of representation here. We're going to bring on a couple more people. We're going to bring on someone from another country. Although
Whoa.
you
Where they
wouldn't
from, Utah?
you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't know it.
It's
You
the
wouldn't know
hole in one, man.
Right. Well, we're gonna get into that fantasy story later. You know, we're gonna.
Can I
Roland,
just-
you able to stick around for a little while or what?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, I could hear you very well.
If
Very
I
well.
can,
All right.
the highlight of Major League Baseball.
Lou, how are you? Jeff, how are you?
Good,
Good, Roland. How are you?
The
You know, every
highlight-
time I see Roland, I think of Bob and Doug McKenzie. Now, you know.
Oh, the Canadian.
Hey.
That was a great show. That was.
How's it going, Hoser?
Was that SCTV?
That was
That-
SCTV.
That
Yes,
was,
it was.
that was,
Yes, it
that was
yeah.
phenomenal. A phenomenal show.
Based,
I
Yes,
love
it
that
was.
show.
based out of Edmonton, I believe, yes.
Edmonton.
I love
I
the
thought the
city
only
of
people up
Edmonton.
there. I thought the only people up there were hockey players and farmers.
Hey,
Well, pretty much. Yeah.
You are correct. You are correct.
Yeah.
And
the-
people who love
the-
oil. Oil.
the
The oil
highlight of
Oh, is that's why they had a little oil droplet on there, which was a pretty
Yes,
cool logo.
that's right.
Remember we had
That's
our logo show. We had our episode of logo. I don't know. I don't think the Oilers made the finals in the logo, but they we got a lot of people
Don't forget,
watching.
that's where
let's say
Wayne
a li-
Gretzky was from. So,
Yeah, that's was he from Edmonton?
well, from Canada, I think from outside
Ontario.
Winnipeg.
Okay.
Ontario?
From
Is it Ontario or Winnipeg?
Right.
Okay,
Pretty sure
Manitoba?
it's Ontario.
We're gonna-
Played in
we're gonna-
Winnipeg.
We're going to say hello to some people that
Played
aren't
in
on.
Winnipeg.
We say to my niece is on, Cassidy, my mom is on.
Hi,
We have
Mommy.
Eric's on, and Lewis from Staten Island is on, an old school buddy, and we're going to bring on another New Yorker, who we're going to get his response to what happened to his baseball on Fox. Remember the last episode? He was talking about that when he was driving. We were all anticipating magic.
Our
And the
buddy
rabbit-
Andy.
The rabbit didn't get pulled out of that hat. Just unfortunately, maybe he'll give us a little. We're going to bring on Andy Brill from the Northeast. We got every state represented here,
God.
and
There we go.
and it's good
Hey,
to
Andy,
see
how
you.
are you?
Nice to have you. And
Orange there, Andy.
he's got a guest star in the back behind him. He's got introduce us to your guest star. Up, he knocks
No,
her
he's
out of
not.
the picture. Knocks her out of the picture. Paulino's here. I put her on. You know, she. I actually need Paulina to get on. She's the only reason people watch. So, all right. So,
Andy is is she still your fiance, or you guys get married?
We got divorced, but we're going to still live together and maybe try again.
Oh, so she's the future ex, Mrs. Brill. Is that it?
Oh, were you married, Andy? Were you married?
We can't determine how many hyphenated names we want to go with. So we're just going to keep going back and forth until we have enough letters in our names to
Crickets.
confuse everybody.
Brill Goldstein, Brill Goldstein.
Something
You're
like
just-
that. We're
you're
just going to
gonna
keep re-adding. We'll just keep re-adding our names until we
Right.
drive everyone
Do
crazy.
you, Andy Brill Goldstein, and Brill Goldstein, take Mrs. Brill Goldstein?
It's going to make the vows tremendous
Oh,
and the
God.
invitations.
Oh, right. Are you on the Brill Goldstein side or the Brill Goldstein side?
That's our goal.
Right. So we got one thing I want to tell a little story before we get into this. The other day I woke up and I was tired. It was in the morning, and this is kind of a weird story. So I had I'm going to go to Roland's hole in one. I want to talk about Roland's hole in one for a second. If you know that Roland claimed that he had a hole in one, right? So
Don't forget, it happened in Canada, so there's no line, there's no fake news up here.
wait, we got a guest. Come on in. Come over here.
Who's
If
that?
you're going to be, you can't be on the side. You got to get in. There we go. We got the Colonel over here. One of our master audio people, and he's not coming on. Why don't you come and say hello? Say hello. You got a lot of
Is that Mr.
Hello.
Grundvig? Who is it?
Yeah.
Who is it?
the Colonel
Mr.
Grundvig.
Grundvig. Hey,
Colonel
tell the Colonel.
Yeah.
Tell the Colonel I was very impressed with the article I read about him
Very
and his great audio thing. Yeah, sounded great.
Roland said he was very impressed by the article. There was an article about you.
About all the audio that you guys are using that he put together for the three
Do you want to
studios.
talk about it a little bit? I'll let you. Come on, talk a little bit.
We can do a show about it.
Okay, we'll do a
Groundbreaking
show.
audio, I believe.
Dave, you can watch
Do a
it
show
on
on it.
YouTube and Facebook. You can check it out.
Yeah.
He's going to come on as a guest one time. He's going to talk about that article. And
Yes,
but
it's a good article.
but yeah, we're gonna let me get. If you don't know, Roland claimed that he had a hole in one the other day.
You're breaking
right?
up, Todd. You're breaking up.
Oh, am I breaking up? Because here, let
I'm
me
in
see.
Canada,
Maybe-
so I have to tell the truth. No, you're not. But
Okay. So here is the
uh-oh.
okay.
That's right.
Oh, that's
the true shot.
proof.
That's the proof.
Okay. The proof. Now,
Right.
I just want to say that we wanted to prove this, so we had an investigative team. We had
already
an
in Kelowna, already in Kelowna, British Columbia.
we had an
for
investigative
another event,
team
right?
checking this out.
Got a shyster and finagle.
And we found a webcam that showed it took some pictures of here we go. Here's the first one. We see Roland standing by the golf pole holding the ball.
The stick.
Do you see that? He's holding he's
Yeah,
he's holding the ball.
that could be a before or an after picture, Todd. What do you think?
Well, let's go to the next one. And here we go. And he's looking over his shoulder, looking to make sure no one sees him dropping the ball in
Right.
that hole. So I'm kind of a little skeptical
Well,
on
again, it
Roland's
could be
fantasy.
a before or an after picture. That's right.
No, that looks like because if you notice in the picture where he actually is sitting there, you notice that ball is here. So
That's my buddy's ball. That's my buddy's
yeah,
ball.
it's a buddy's ball. So and he obviously
Yeah.
Roland ran up as fast as possible in order to drop that in the hole. So I'm a little skeptical on Roland's So
Really? You think I ran up there? Look at that picture again. Do you think I really beat these guys? You think?
I think you ran up there.
Was I playing a herd of elephants or something?
Looking over your shoulder to drop it in. And
Andy and Jeff and Lou are falling asleep now.
Okay. Let me chime in here.
I just think you need a video crew to document your every step to prove things like this are really happening. Otherwise, we'll never.
There's Roland looking over his shoulder.
Yeah. But Todd, he's not Auric Goldfinger here. He didn't just take the ball, drop it down his pant leg, and then let it go into the hole. This is Roland. This is the pride of the Kelowna. Is that where you are?
Kelowna. Well, I was in Kelowna, but yeah, the pride of British Columbia. How about that?
Come on, the Rockets. Everybody knows the Kelowna Rockets.
I mean, where else would those pictures? Where would those pictures come from? You know,
well, they could have come from Bedminster, I guess.
Right.
They could have come from anywhere, really. I mean,
yeah.
So Roland, why don't you give a little? What happened on that hole? You threw it, or what happened?
I don't know. Take a look. What do you think happened? I don't know.
That's pictures.
Oh look!
I want to see video.
There we go.
Video.
No,
let's see some.
No video. Sorry, Todd. No video. Hey, it was a simple shot. It was a 103-yard shot. Nobody was really looking, including me.
That's still not simple. That's not simple. That's a great shot. That's a great
so
achievement.
It's so lucky. Give Roland credit here, Todd. Come on.
It's just lucky.
Did they give
Roland, Did you have to hit it under the windmill or like over the hazard or like? Was there one of those like little carousels?
Through the dragon's
mouth. Yeah. Did they give you the cup after? Did they give you the cup? Or just
no,
what
but
you were wearing?
I have to go back. It's about 250 miles away from where I live, so I have a certificate of authenticity waiting for me to pick it up. So had I been a member,
players,
yes,
I remember talking. You had
signed witnesses.
You were playing with Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles, right? So they were able to verify. They heard the sound of the cup. Their ears are very sensitive. So they were able to hear.
I thought it was Al Cerniak.
Right.
Or maybe Joey Crawford.
Oh, no, that right.
The judge and Spalding were part of the foursome.
Now, Jeff and Lou and Andy, I don't think Todd plays golf, but do you guys play golf?
I have tried at my in-laws' plantation in South Carolina. I will not say what I have done is called playing, but I have attempted to.
Yeah, my handicap is my clubs.
Andy, what about you? Nothing? No luck? No joy?
You know, let's talk. I'd love to talk more golf. What did you shoot that day anyway? Was that you? It
was only a 9-hole deal. It was a nine and dine, they call it. So not even a full round. But
you eagled that hole, right? You eagled that hole.
That's right. That's right.
You bogeyed every other hole.
Well, you see the scorecard.
Straight shot.
I didn't.
It rolled in. It rolled in. Yes.
So were you plus 7 that day? What were you?
I was. I think I had a 43 on that front nine. I think I had a 43.
Good. Well, that's pretty. Good.
I usually get a 43 and about 3 holes per time.
Yeah, first time I ever played that course. It was the first time I'd ever seen that course. So. The problem is that when
look what we got. We got a little comment. Got a little comment from one of your tape buddies.
That's right.
It's a motley crew.
Yeah,
except none of us could sing. None of us could sing. Right. However, you know what? Talking about singing, we had karaoke the other night.
Oh boy.
So if I
could bubble karaoke? Double
people
karaoke,
out there,
right?
you may want to go to get your drink or take your bathroom break right now.
Go get our sake.
That's right.
Let's see if we could get a little
and Andy's like,
karaoke.
this is time I'm never getting back ever again.
I know. It's like watching Dumb and Dumber.
Moving, huh?
Roll the tape.
Roll the tape. Roll the tape. I gotta put on the better one. I gotta put on the better one.
He's like, honey, is dinner ready yet?
Roll the tape. Here we go. I thought I was like Julio Iglesias out there.
Sounds more like a mute.
I don't hear it.
That's the
I don't hear
we're
it
singing
either.
in the bubble. That's the bubble behind us.
The great thing about Todd is he doesn't need alcohol to be Todd.
He also doesn't need an audience to be Todd apparently either. So this is
I
Todd
mean,
in his raw form.
There was no one out there yet. There was no one. Well, I don't know. Wait, let's get to the end. There was a little
heard the beginning.
Any audio?
Yeah. I see.
Any
We
audio
had
against
it.
that, Todd?
You don't hear
Yeah,
the
right?
audio?
No, we're reading
I don't.
lips.
I can't even see his lips. It's dark.
Very dark. See?
I mean,
That's the
where's
only
the
merciless
lighting
part of
guy?
this.
There we
The
go.
lighting guy didn't get paid his $500 union fee to turn the switch on. So,
Right,
you know.
'cause-
But the NBA gave them a nice place to play.
Right. Actually, the NBA did a very nice thing. We had a wonderful barbecue the other night with great food. It was brisket and
That's awesome.
chicken. It was
Wow.
great. It was really, they did a nice job. I got to commend them. I got to commend a lot of people. They're taking care of us and really
So,
doing a
Todd,
great
you're
job.
able to do this. So you're able to do this tonight, Todd, because ESPN's on right now. Is that right?
No, I'm miraculously, because I'm with one TNT crew. They're off, so they're not doing the games tonight. I'm locked into
okay.
one crew, which is good. I'm happy about.
Okay. all
And
right.
yeah, so and
Isn't
Paulina's
Friday
on.
night
There
a
she
regular
come.
ESPN show? Oh,
Yeah,
So,
but it's
Todd,
all yeah.
Are you doing your own coordinating as well as, machining away, or you got yourself your solo job? What are you doing?
No, it's they got the coordinators in Atlanta, and
Okay.
but they're on a delay, so I pretty much I run the show a little bit, and which is a good thing. And no, it really is. Plus, the producer and director and the AD. Sean is our AD. He does a great job, but he never font coordinated for me. But the producer and director did, so we have a really good synergy. We really understand each other, so they know me, I know the way they work, and graphically we work together very well. And then the PAs come, I give them suggestions, and then but they're on a delay, so they're on a 2-second delay, so if a guy's at the line on the line, let's say, I got to get that in, so I do the selling. And
That is so difficult.
What was that?
I
What
would
was
say
that?
it's so difficult because I'm doing the All-Star game from U.S. Cellular Field, whatever you want to call it, for NHK a number of years ago, and we were on a delay back to Tokyo.
We were 7.5 seconds behind.
Oh my God, that has got to be incredibly difficult to sync up, what you're doing live with what's going on someplace else. I give you a lot of credit.
they're on a delay. So, but luckily I know the show, I know the disc, I know the numbers. So, if sometimes I'll ask them to look something up when I'll already have looked it up just to keep them busy, and then I'll put it on, and but if I wait for them, we won't have any graphics.
Hey, I have a question for everybody.
Yeah.
The virtual fans. Did anybody see the Kansas City game on MLB and see who was sitting in the stands?
Yes, I did.
Bernie from Weekend Bernie.
Weekend
I
at Bernie.
I did see that. Yeah,
Yes.
I saw
And
that.
we had Chico the goat.
She-
I'm dead serious.
right.
In our games, we had a fan with her pet goat.
But Lou, not only did Kansas City have our buddy Bernie, but they also had Where's Waldo?
I did not see him.
Yeah, they had Where's Waldo and a bunch
That's
of other
pretty
people
good.
who I have no idea who they are.
I think for the NBA, the way they do in the virtual fans, they look pretty good. I'm pretty impressed by that, and the way it's shot. You really can't tell because the down angle, I never realized you really can't see a lot of fans, and you just see people on the sideline, so you're not really seeing a lot of people, and they're pumping. I mean, I got to think it's a lot different in the arena than watching because they're pumping audio and fans in for the sound. They're putting team logos in. But I'd like to ask Andy, because I was watching the MLB regionals, and I really didn't like what they were doing, and they look like the old hockey game cardboard cutout. Remember the little hockey games where you play on the tabletop?
I
And
get
then-
that.
Right. And then I saw the preview for Andy's national game he was going to do. And that I was really looking, it looked so fabulous what they were going to do. And I'm not sure what happened. So I don't know if Andy wants to talk about it or not. So do you, because we were all looking forward to that and it really looked good. And on the show before yours, on the game before yours, it was kind of weird because once in a while they would do virtual and then once in a while they wouldn't. And to me, it's very weird to go from people in a crowd to another cut and it's an empty stadium. That's a very weird look to me. And I think Fox blew it. That's what I think. So, but I don't know what I was expecting something different from what Andy was going to do. So Andy, why don't you chime in and say what your goal was and maybe what happened, but you don't have to. Because I understand if you don't want to.
No, not at all. I'm not embarrassed about anything personally. My job was to go in there and operate the virtual fans for Fox National Games in the Eastern Time Zone. We have 3 teams. We have a team, a New York-based, a Chicago-based, and an LA-based team, and each one kind of stays in their own time zone. And every single Fox nationally televised game, even the ones that are broken up regionally, has had this presence on site. But there have been a couple of games, including the first one I did, where our virtual fans never actually made air. So that very first game I did, kind of hyped up and talked about on Facebook, our fans never got on the air because they had some calibration issues with the software to get them all locked into place. The programmers call it the geometry of the stadium, and their geometry for Nationals Park was a little bit off.
Pretty good, Roland.
But we did games just a few days later at Citi Field and Yankee Stadium where they actually used us quite a bit. So I don't know if you saw either of those games. And then last night they had an issue again in Chicago. They had a Cubs game, Brewers at Cubs, and the virtual fans never made air last night either, also for some technical reasons that I actually don't know the full story of yet. So it's been a little hit and miss, but the Fox executives really like the technology. And
now, was yours supposed to look better than the regional ones that I was seeing? The cardboard.
I don't know what you mean by regional ones, because the only games where we've had a presence are the nationally televised games.
Right. I get that. I'm saying, like, when we watch a local game, it's a local broadcast, not a weekend Fox National, but a local Dodger game. Right. The cardboard, they look very cardboardy, stiff.
The cardboard cutouts are actually present on site in the stands. That's not virtual. That's literally just cardboard cutouts sitting in the stands.
You grab the Emmy for me and bring it out here for me? It's in the show.
They're putting cutouts out in the stands.
Yeah, the cutouts are there. They're actually there.
So you're saying the concession guys walking around selling hot dogs are not doing very well, selling sodas and hot dogs to cardboard cutouts.
I think they might be doing moderately better than when they were trying to sell them to empty seats.
Yeah, to the people putting them out. So
now,
I
was just going to say, Todd, I mean, I know it. I mean, I'm still willing to give this idea a chance. I thought it looked a little funky, but I got to be honest. I think I'd rather see the virtual fans than these stupid cutouts because nobody can see what the cutouts are unless you have somebody going, "Hey, look, there's the Weekend at Bernie's guy." Nobody knows who Mary from Joplin is, and nobody knows who Jeff from Highland Park is. So it's like you can't see it. So I give more credit to the virtual idea, and of course I like the pumping in of audio. I think that makes it, as a listener and a viewer, I enjoy actually listening to some of that. There's a little bit more reality. So I mean, take that for what it's worth, I guess.
Right.
I appreciate every network's various efforts, or even the stadiums and the teams, to try to enhance the experience in some respect. And I understand that there will be varying opinions about each of them. I agree with you, Todd, about one thing, and then I'll stop talking about my shows.
No, that's fine.
I agree with you that it's a little jarring even when everything works. We only have 4 cameras at the moment that output the virtual fans. The high home, the center field cam, a high first, high third. So when they cut to other cameras, you can get the experience of going from a shot where you see the fans to a shot where it's back to empty seats.
Right.
I don't know what the long-term plan is to add more cameras or to alleviate that, but Fox knew going in that would be the case. The directors knew that, which is why I think they've gone back to being more selective about when they cut to our cameras. They're using them for like graphic shots and transitional shots and coming back from breaks. But then once they get into action, they've actually been staying away from our shots.
Right. Well, this is what
a good strategy.
I'm hoping I could. I'm hoping I could show this because this was what I was expecting. This is what I was expecting. This is what I was expecting.
Right, and that's actually what we had, but we also can't control how often the director will use our shots. But that's exactly what we had. You know, when there's a long fly ball, we've got them standing and oohing and eyeing. When there's a scoring play, they're cheering. They're doing all of the actions that I've been taught and trained to have them do, right. But the director doesn't always necessarily cut to that shot at that moment.
Right, but I'm just saying that looks fantastic.
Well, that's actually how it looks. That's not a fake. That's not a BS version of what we do. That's pretty much how it looks.
So when you did it from Citi Field, that's how it looked?
Yeah.
Because I didn't see that first day when you were driving down. That's what I was looking forward to. I really was. I was excited for it.
There were 3 games on that first day. A 1 o'clock game, a 4 o'clock game, and my game. And the early game established it and showed it quite a bit. And then the game at the Dodgers, I think that's where the second game was that day, they didn't really introduce it until later in the game, like the 4th inning, which was a strange choice to me, but that's what they did. And then our game, we just had a technical problem that was out of my control. So we never actually integrated it into my first game. But then my second and my third games, they went pretty well. I have a game tomorrow night at Yankee Stadium. So there's 2 games tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern, a game at the Yankees and a game at the Giants. So, if you're
is that a big Fox game or a little Fox
Those are
game?
both, yes. Yeah. The only time they use our technology is a big Fox game. So the 2
tomorrow
big
Saturday,
right. Night are at Yankees and at Giants. So hopefully if all goes well, you'll see it. So, yeah, I mean.
I'm going to check it out because what do you guys think? Like, I think it looks really good if that's what it is. And I hope it's consistent because, like you said, it's when you're showing a crowd and then you cut, and like in the replay, they're not there, right? The fans are not there in the replay.
At this moment, the replay angles are only the clean cameras, the clean versions, and not the virtual.
Yeah, that's the same as like the green with the ad behind home plate. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's just it's understandable.
Replay, you only see the green, you don't see the ad, right?
Right. And then when I'm watching some games and a guy hits a home run, I feel like it's like the home run derby. You know, they're just out in an empty field, and it's kind of weird watching it. But I think it's a great idea, and if they could get it done, and it's early stages, people are, I'm sure, rushed to do this.
It was definitely rushed to get it on. Fox understood that, and they also started with just these 4 cameras, which was a Fox decision. It's not we could be doing more cameras if they wanted to add more, more equipment, more gear. It's certainly doable. But Fox has already talked about other usages for it moving forward, not just for fans, but augmented reality can be used for a myriad of reasons or ideas. And then and there's also talk of using it in the NFL. So I mean, this is still just phase 1. But I definitely admit that it has some tweaking to do.
But it's a great idea. It's great, and the NBA is great. It reminds me of with the NBA, like, I don't know if you've seen those movies where like people are on another planet and planets are playing each other and they're in an arena and there's virtual like fans and no one's really there.
I like what the NBA's done. I like the video walls. I think it's pretty cool. The WWE is about to start doing that next week. They're going to use the NBA model and like fill a bunch of humongous LED boards with like people watching from their like homes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty. So they'll have fake fans and fake wrestling.
Well, it's real fake wrestling. Okay, just get that straight.
Hey, I love wrestling. I saw Bruno Sammartino versus Superstar Billy Graham.
That was in
Madison Square Garden.
1968. Yeah.
Madison Square Garden. I love. It was in the 70s. I love those guys. I just
1870s.
I was a big wrestling fan.
Well,
But,
the WWE reached out to Fox and at least inquired about actually using our virtual fan technology for their upcoming events, but then they decided to go with the NBA model and use the video boards. But it was in discussion.
That's
Andy,
interesting.
is the Cub game going to be on Fox tomorrow? They moved it up to 2:20 for
Bruno.
weather reasons, so I didn't know if that was.
No, the
That's not
two big Fox games tomorrow at
That's,
Yankees and at Giants at 7:00 Eastern.
Okay.
Roland, who is that?
Killer Kowalski.
Canada's greatest athlete,
Gene
Kiniski.
Kiniski. Gene Kiniski.
Kiniski, yeah,
That's it.
Kiniski, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Canada's greatest athlete, I still think, are Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Right. I think for WWE being in a big arena, that the Fox model would work better than the NBA model.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
how many. They're obviously going to have seat kills, and they do obviously that. Whether you like wrestling or not, they do a great job production-wise with
it's
their lighting
unbelievable.
and their
I love
set.
it. I love it.
They're moving into the Amway Center in Orlando, where the Magic normally play, and having more space to work with will probably work to their advantage. They'll figure it out.
No, I think it's amazing. I would love to have done. I never did it. I have a lot of friends that worked on it. I heard stories how Vince McMahon he's in a room upstairs with somebody, and he calls every shot on those things. And it's amazing how it's scripted. I would just love to be involved to see how it works. They just happen to have a camera
Todd,
when the guy runs
I've
in.
done one of those. I've done one of those. I got the greatest story of Vince McMahon you'll ever hear. Is that I was doing?
Yeah, spill it.
I was doing the WWE. It was I was doing two shows. First of all, I get a script, and I'm like, should I? Do I have to sign something to get the script? The guy goes, no, but they're numbered, and we're gonna come back and get it from you. So what happens is it's this big thing where Jason Ross, who's had a stroke a couple of 6 months before. This is his first show back, and he's still not all back. But in his absence, the new up and coming young announcer, I can't remember what his name, has been doing nothing but trash talking. This is part of their storyline. All right. So tonight is the night that they're going to meet in the ring, right? So during rehearsals for this thing, Jason Ross and the announcer, I can't remember his name, they're kind of grappling, but it looks terrible. And all of a sudden, the PL starts lighting up, and the camera guys are like, "This is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen." Another guy lights up. This is going to set back wrestling 20 years, So what happens is Vince McMahon, who's watching this, says he stops the whole rehearsal, and he goes to the corner of the ring, and then brings Jason Ross over, and because he's wearing a headset, and you can hear what he's saying. He says, "Listen, buddy, this is your job to sell this, not the other guy. This is your job." So he's telling Jason Ross, if you don't sell this, it's the greatest quote ever. If you don't sell this, I will send you back to the glue factory I found you in. Right? End of rehearsal. They let the people in, and everybody doesn't know what the hell's going to go on.
You came from a glue
So this
factory?
thing comes up. Jason Ross, something Ross Jr. He gets into the ring, and no preamble. He just launches over on the other side of the ring and starts beating the shit out of this guy for real in his head. Blood's coming out. The guy is supposed to lose this thing, so he gets up and he runs out of the arena, which is what's supposed to happen, right? But there's blood all over the place. So what happens is they raise his hand, they take him back, and then the PL lights up again. That's my guy. You see that, everybody? That's my guy. J.R. Ross broke his hand on the guy's head as he's doing all this stuff. As they I don't want to go back to the glue factory you found me in. That's my guy. You see, everybody? That's what you do for this company. That's my guy. And it was great story. You guys seem less impressed than you should.
I know. I'm quite amused.
I just want to know if you meant Jim Ross as opposed to Jason Ross, the CBS AD.
Yeah. J.R. Ross, yes. Jim Ross, you're right.
Yeah.
Jim Ross was the guy from the Southern guy from the South.
Yeah, well, he wore the big hat. He always wore a hat. right?
He's
I think
from
he's still
Oklahoma.
around, actually.
Yes, he
Oklahoma?
is. Yep.
There you go.
A
But-
Sooner
but-
or a
Hey,
Cowboy?
Todd.
But with that fantasy golf story, why is it? Should we believe anything you say?
Of course.
Roland.
You know, there's something else, Todd.
But
Todd,
that
there's something else.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Coming across
Roland's
the
always
line.
been untrustworthy.
You know, Roland, you can share your screen. Okay, so before you do that,
yes, the Emmy.
before you do that, let's. I didn't know the awards were last night. I didn't know the awards were last night.
They
That's
were on Tuesday night. They're on Tuesday night.
okay. That isn't the one that he just got. Oh God.
Oh God.
I don't want to get up, but I
Atta
can
boy,
get
Andy.
Andy.
That's right. There we go, Andy. No, that was for this one. That one.
Let me. I want to say something about.
They make great napkin holders. I just want to say that.
Yeah, I want to say something about
That's true.
sports Emmy Awards. All right, and many of us have them.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
and you want it
not
for
me.
you got it for golf.
Got it
Roland?
for the team technical
technical-
remote for golf. Yes,
Right.
that's my
So-
third one now. That's my
Right,
third one.
which is phenomenal. They because
Yeah.
what it means is you're at least you've been good enough to be on the show, because it's not an individual award. You've been good enough to be on the show. However, there are some people that were on the show that don't deserve to be on the show. They just have to be on the show, so they get one too. But my problem with Sports Emmy Awards,
What,
yeah, you know,
what are
it's a
saying,
group
Todd?
effort.
What do you think? It's a group effort, exactly. You know,
It's a group effort.
and again,
But
if Tiger doesn't win the Masters, we don't win the Emmy. End of story. Doesn't matter how good of a job we did or didn't do. The Emmy does not
here's-
go to CBS.
right, here's
for
my
that
problem
show.
with Sports Emmy Awards, because when they give them out, the only time technical crew gets it is for technical team remote, which
Correct.
it's
Correct.
great that they acknowledge that. Now, there are
Some
many
editors get it, some sound guys get it, but individually,
right, but,
yes.
okay, but so many
Documentary
shows
guys
win,
get it.
but a show will win. Let's say it's NBA on this, NBA on that, NFL on this,
TNT.
NFL on that, on anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And the producers, directors, executives get the awards.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think that's unfair that the technical crew does not get that award, because without that crew, there's no award. There's no great show. There's these producers and directors.
There's nothing to judge. There's nothing to judge
Well,
without the show.
nothing to judge,
There's
but
nothing
they
to judge.
rely on the editors and the cameraman taking that
sure.
great
Oh, yeah.
shot,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and whether it's
Oh,
a graphic, the audio doing great sound, and that is a production that technical should not be ignored when production wins a sports Emmy Award, because a director is not necessarily calling for that great camera shot where he's on one player and does a focus to the guy behind him or something. That's a camera move. And director or producer, if it's a great rollout, that's a tape guy putting that together, most likely. So the technical guys make the production people look fantastic, yet they win the award and the technical people are ignored. And I think that is such a horror to happen. That's not really the right word, but
The humanity.
no. Do you
It's
agree
heinous,
with me?
yeah.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think?
First of all,
No,
who's
I mean,
paying for
I
the
think
entrance?
Todd. I think the studio guys also. There's a team technical remote for studio shows as well.
No, I
So,
understand team technical,
yeah.
but when
No, I mean, it just is. You're right. It is what it is. Yes.
it is what it is. But I think it's wrong. I think that a great show.
I don't have a problem with it if you think about every award show and every winners of comedies, dramas, movies. Those awards go to the production, to the producers, and sometimes the directors. They don't go to the whole crew.
Yeah.
I don't actually have a problem with there being a technical category.
Okay. All right, but I'm going to say something. Okay, but a movie that wins Best Picture, a lot more is based on them blocking and putting together every aspect of a scripted show or movie, as opposed to a live telecast where producers and directors are banking on their people doing the right things, and they count on those people to get the right shots.
But the categories exist for those awards. Like they said, you have technical team remote, technical team studio.
Do you see? Okay. Do you see a best
for weekly shows, daily shows?
Okay, there's a best in the movies. There's a best cinematographer. There's a best editor. Do you see in sports a best camera? There are actually a lot of very specific categories in the sports Emmys that are specific to. I don't think anything like that. There's like 24 awards, and I don't think anything other than technical team remote acknowledges technical skill.
The individual.
Todd, I will tell you this.
That's not true. There's animation people. There's editors. Yep. Those are technical people.
Yeah,
there's graphic things, right?
All kinds of things.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of categories. I don't know the last time you looked at the complete list, but there's actually
there is no individual skill recognized in a sports Emmy world. There are not.
Well, no, they're not giving away an award for who's the best cameraman, but they are giving away an award for the best
audio.
DVDs.
No, they're not.
For the best
production
package.
Right, but in movies and television.
But Todd, what really comes down to is you look at the list of the names on those award winners. If the producers and the directors want to put the camera guy's name down, they certainly can. I noticed that on our show, on our team technical remote, there are production managers, there are crewers on that list, there are editors on that list who are not the quasi technical people. Right, but that's what they've done. They try to address.
I'm just saying, just to have a team technical to give technical guys a shot when they have so much to do with a good show. It's like they're going out there, they're putting things together, they're taking great shots. There is no best editor. There is not. There's a best tease maybe or a best open.
See Jonathan Berkman's,
Yeah.
You see what he's doing?
I agree with him. Award. I agree with them.
I just don't really have a problem with the way they have the categories set up right now. And I think that if you open up that door, you're talking about an endless amount of additional individual categories. And you would have to determine who's submitting those nominees. And then you're asking them among their own.
Okay, but if you know, or maybe you don't, and I'm going to bring another guest on, but if you know and if you don't, they have all these other awards that are not on prime time because no one gives a crap about, the public. They want to see the celebrities. They don't care about best art direction or best camera, best sound design, but they have those on another day. They don't put them on TV, but they have those on another day.
The Emmys doesn't put them on. The Oscars does, although the Oscars also has an additional scientific and technical awards ceremony.
Right. And
you're still
sports
not, but you're still not getting a best cameraman. You're still not getting a best.
You're getting best cinematographer
for a specific film.
No, best cinematographer, right? But you could have best sound. I mean, let's say, let's bring on Rick. When he puts his water down. And
you're bringing on Rick. All right, I'm getting out of here. Good night,
guys. Here comes the judge.
Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. Rick Tugman.
See you later.
Are you up in Connecticut?
Yeah, I'm leaving for DC tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know if you heard any of that, but
I heard all of it.
Yeah. So what do you think about that with sports? And I just think people are not you don't care. I don't recognize. I just think people are not recognized.
The Emmy Awards make great doorstops.
I'm telling you, they don't bring money. I'll tell you that.
Most people don't win Emmys for the things they're most proud of anyway. Let's be honest.
Right.
That's true.
Maybe not true for like the awards for like best tease or opening anime, things that are like where someone puts a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But it's always predictable which shows are going to get nominated. If you work on a smaller production, the odds of even being able to get your work submitted and taken seriously are hard without the network backing. And so I can't speak for all of you, but I've worked on a ton of shows over the years in post-production and live where I was so proud of my product and it would never even remotely be considered for an award. And I probably would have been more deserving of taking home a statue for one of those things than the five that I have.
agree with you.
Yeah, but how many times have you guys probably worked on a show and it probably won an award and never put your name on it?
That's right. That can happen too. Yeah.
That's right. But I agree. I think there's some shows I work with that I walk away. It was a great show. At least I had a great show. Yeah. There's some shows that they have a great show and I have a crappy show. But
hey, Todd, I want to break up this news just with a quick little update here. It took until the top of the fifth inning to break up the double no-hitter between the Brewers and the Cubs in Chicago on a fielder's choice ruling.
Wow.
So we have a 0. Nope. Now it is 1-0 Milwaukee in Chicago. Took 4+ innings.
But is it a
To get
single
it.
no-hitter now?
It is now a
You're
single
probably the
no-hitter.
only one who cares how the Cubs and Brewers are doing, but it's fair enough.
That would be true, Andy. That would be very true.
Andy, lift your camera up. We can see way too much.
Well, he's probably in his son's room.
No, wrong direction.
Wake
Wrong
him up.
direction. Yeah.
No, boy.
What are you seeing that you don't like, Roland? Let me know.
I just wish for,
You like that better?
I wish for a 7-second delay. That's what I wish for right now. But
Actually,
you're good,
Andy,
Andy.
you should bring in your lady friend.
Lost your head there.
Where's your lady friend, Andy?
Your upper head.
I don't have the express written copyrighted permission to put her on TV right now. Sorry.
Got it. Okay. I'll talk to her agent.
I
So
had
anyway, everybody here, Andy's quite right. If you win an award, it's just because you happen to be there for that particular show.
For sports.
And
For
you
sports,
have to,
right.
you have to take a look at what you do. And, yeah, exactly. But you have to recognize it for a career, not a specific show, because as Andy says,
it's a nice token to get, for sure.
It is. Yep.
I'm happy and proud of all 5 of the ones I have, but honestly, it's not necessarily representative of my hardest and best work that I've done in this industry.
But do you still have yours with you? Like you brought them over. Why don't you show one? Because people out there don't really necessarily
I held 2 of them up before.
Is it right by? If it's still by you, show it again. And people don't understand. They don't realize how heavy that thing is. It's a heavy award. It's a very nice
doorstop.
1.
And in Jonathan Berkman's case, it's life size. That's right.
3.
Well, we don't need that. I didn't ask you to show 3. I asked
4.
you to show
That
one.
one's got a nice flamingo on it.
I only asked for 1.
5.
Very nice. There you go, Andy. Congratulations. That's awesome.
All right, Andy.
I gave one to my mom, and then I won a local one, which is smaller than a national one. And I wanted to trade her, so I gave it to her, and she said, "I don't want that one; it's too small." I'm like, "Oh, all right, Mom, that's it."
That's when
Yeah, the local Emmys are smaller than the national Emmys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, they are a little bit, and they're $400 a pop. If you buy one, they're $400 a pop, which is a lot of money.
I gotta tell you, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't have to pay a penny for any of the 5 I won.
Well, you work for good people.
The
Then.
networks paid for them. That I worked
Yeah,
for.
that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
NBC
very
and
cool.
MLB Network.
Don't tell that secret to the public. Keep
Well,
that a
NBC,
secret.
NBC always wins for the Olympics. Yeah.
No, listen, the reason the Emmy Awards give away so many awards, and the reason so many people win them, is because they make green off of how much money per statue they
Exactly.
that to give these away.
Every name.
Oh,
And that's the
God,
real.
they make
Major League Baseball
making a
studio
ton.
show. Major League Baseball studio show won again. This is like the 7th or 8th year in a row, or maybe 11th.
Yeah.
And there was like well over. It looked like 500 people on the crew. That they associate producers, associate directors, ADs, PAs. Everybody was on the list. It was amazing.
And
that's cool.
the two I won with MLB, they paid for everybody's statues.
That's nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I'm hoping that something happens with the NBA and with this bubble thing, because it took a lot of
there's
work.
going to be a new category next year. I heard they're going to do like something for remote or work. I don't know what the name of the category is, but I did hear they're going to add something to represent what's
It'll be
going on this
productions
year.
under COVID management.
You mean just for this special?
Yeah, I forget. I think I actually saw what the name of the category was, but I don't remember
think
exactly what the
how
title
many
was.
sports shows are actually going on right now that will be judged this time next year? The answer is not that many.
But
In the COVID category
happening
of
now is
sports
gonna be-
production.
That's right.
Yeah.
Under the bubble.
Yeah, so
At the NHL level, we're going to give the award to.
Exactly. So that's all right. Hey, Todd, I got to go. All right.
Wait,
I'll talk to you guys later.
Wait 1 second. I got to show you my award. I would trade all my awards
Good to
for
see
her.
you.
There you go.
You're a lucky man. You're a very lucky
Very
man.
lucky man, Todd.
Just I got to show her in there somewhere.
Hey guys,
So wait, so
adios. Bye-bye.
all right, Roland,
Roland.
thanks.
Adios,
Thanks for the
Roland.
fantasy story of your hole in one.
Thanks. That's right.
You
Thank
know.
you very much. Bye-bye.
And I guess Lou
right.
took off. So
Oh, I'm still here.
I hope you guys
He's
get your
still
shit together down there. I got to
Lou's
tell
in
you.
the
I
dark.
wanted to say hello to Lou that he got his mic working.
I
I'm still
know.
here.
Exactly.
I think Lou didn't
See you
take
guys.
his own-
Adios. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Jonathan, see you, Roland. But here's something from Jonathan. Local MA1 for camera for new, because I think that was probably an individual. He did the work on that, and rather
That's
than being a
exactly
group,
my point. Yeah.
right.
Good for you, Jonathan. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Hi,
And
Johnny.
it's great. It's great. So
Yeah.
Andy,
so that
how you
was-
been?
What's
it's
that?
just becoming a personal conversation.
Yeah, I
Rick?
want to say hi to my buddy.
All right, say hello. Go ahead, say hello.
I'll be in Stanford 4 days next week.
I'm not going to be here. I'm leaving for DC tomorrow, but
Right. That's why I'm going next week. I was waiting for you to leave.
Why?
Tug, I'm back.
Yeah, fuck.
Why are you going to DC?
The Red Party has lots of money for me.
Ooh.
Oh, good.
Ooh.
10 days of work for the Red Party.
Convention.
Yep.
Oh,
So,
they decide where they're going to do it.
Yeah, the Mellon Auditorium.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, they didn't want to do it at the White House, I guess. All right.
It's a block from the White House. It's a couple
Well,
of blocks from the White House.
I think they're trying to avoid any kind of
Yeah, I'm going to get my Magda hat.
controversy.
Are you gonna
What's a Magda hat?
Yeah,
Magda. What's the D for?
yeah, I
what's
don't
a-
know.
Magda. I want a Magda hat now. I don't even know what it means, but it
Magda,
sounds.
the name of like the maid
Mad
in some
Dog.
TV
The
show.
Mad Dog
So-
hat.
That's in
So,
the city.
Rick, are you going to wear your People's Court clothing while you're doing that?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
No.
I don't have anything to wear at People's Court. I get a T-shirt once in a while. And that's about it.
Oh, look who showed up! My sister came on, which is
Hi,
great.
sister.
Which is
Where's
nice.
Tracy?
My sister Tracy came on, and
Hi,
nice
Tracy.
to have her join.
Hey, Tug, I'm
And-
back.
Yeah, hi Lou. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. It's nice to hear you. Actually, after all these weeks of doing this,
We did some tweaking.
we like the tweaking.
Well, there's
You're
just people who
involved.
tweak all the time.
Is there an Emmy for that?
So, what do you think? People watching more baseball or basketball? What do you think?
I'm watching all baseball, to be quite honest, because the Bulls are out. I don't really have a care
Right.
otherwise. But
Right.
come on, hey, they finally fired Jim Boylan. Woo!
So, what do you think about the sound effects?
Be specific.
crowd-
What do you mean?
crowd
sound
sound.
Oh, you missed that whole discussion.
I did. Okay. Don't even bother. Then.
Crickets.
Right.
Hey, Rick, if you're going to keep being late to these things, then you can't ask questions.
I couldn't get out of the court. Sorry.
Well,
That was
stop
like-
getting in trouble. Go to
Yeah.
your parole officer, and
I know.
something about the NBA though is unfortunately, if the as you notice the playoffs are all set. They're gonna do a 8 and 9 battle for the brackets, but look at the Phoenix Suns won all 8 games in the bubble, and they missed the playoffs. And the Grizzlies went 2-6, and they make the playoffs. And here's where I find it unfair: the Blazers played one more game than both teams. So, if either team played another game, the Grizzlies could have lost, and the Suns could have won. So there's some unfairness to this schedule. There's,
Unfair.
I actually
I was
disagree
almost
again. I
stronger
think
than
that they
that.
scheduled it perfectly. And having the 8-9 game also helped with making sure that all of these teams that were in the hunt had an extra chance. I think that they did a great job and set it up perfectly. And the Phoenix Suns, the Phoenix Suns story was incredible. They went
Right.
8-0, and all of a sudden this team has a super bright future with a couple of significant stars, and they'll be more appealing for teams in the offseason to go to. And they made a hell of a run, but Memphis had a significant cushion. So even though they had a bad record in the restart, they managed to stave off the other teams just enough to get that number 9
But
spot.
don't you think it would have been a little more fair because Dallas played one game more than both, or Portland played or one more game than both Memphis and Phoenix.
Didn't bother me.
That bothers me a little bit because
It didn't bother me because they had every team play a certain number of games in the restart, and you couldn't have had an odd number where someone would have been offset.
No, I get that, but when you go 8-0, that should stand for something. That should at least give you.
It stood for them being alive until the last day and needing one of those other teams to just lose, and neither of them did, or they'd have been in. They missed it by the skin of their teeth, but it was a hell of a run and a great story.
It was a great story. I just think also that a Blazers-Suns game would be a lot better than a Blazers-Grizzlies game. It would be.
True,
it would
but
be.
You have to still give Memphis credit for where they were entering the restart, and
right.
they
and
built
you
up a
got
lot
to
of
take
equity.
away from Phoenix that they were in such bad shape.
Yeah.
Coming in.
You gave more teams a chance to even be considered that no one would have even thought about a month ago before the restart.
Right, and plus you don't know how hard players team played against some of these. The Suns, if it was a regular season, they may not have won those games.
Well,
because
and that's also what I loved. That's what I loved about the last game last night. I have been following very closely, and the Trailblazers Nets last night. Did you work that game, by the way, Todd?
No, I didn't.
Trailblazers. It was the best game of the whole bubble so far because the Trailblazers had to win the game to get into that playoff, or else Phoenix would have gotten in. And the Nets had nothing to play for, and everybody, it was they were 10.5 point underdogs, and the game went right down to the wire, 134 to 133, and it was a high quality, really well played game, and it was a perfect example of why the bubble format has been successful, because it wasn't just a walkover. Oh, the Nets have nothing to play for, so Portland's going to win this game going away, which a lot of people thought, and it was a hell of a game, and I think it's going to be really exciting to watch the 8-9 matchup over the weekend. I think it was a really great idea the NBA put together.
It sucked for New Orleans.
Yeah, I just I get it. I just think that it's unfortunate, but also team like I want to do. There's going to be a graphic I'm going to work on. That's going to be. I want to take the minutes that the players played in the bubble in the 8 games and compare it to the minutes they play in the playoffs. I got to think players, they didn't kill themselves if they didn't.
Yeah,
have
some guys definitely got more rest than others. Remember, some teams were only playing for seeding, and because home court advantage is basically non-existent in the bubble. Right. If you're playing for the 5 seed or the 6 seed, or versus the 4 or the 3, it's not a huge difference.
Right. You do notice the bubble background I got. You notice that? Do you get that?
It reminds me of Biodome with Pauly Shore.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good one.
Right. And then
wow, Rick, you understood that reference. Wow.
I'm old, that's why.
I don't remember that movie. I got to watch that movie. Wait, let me who do you think? Do you think you have any predictions? Anyone have any predictions?
Clippers versus Bucks NBA Finals.
Good choice.
Clippers Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, if it was 2 months ago and the season never had a pause, I would have said Lakers, but not so sure anymore. I think the Clippers are more well put together right now.
I think we're going to see a whole different players now. I think it's going to be now it's going to count. Now we're going to see what happens.
Yeah. I also think that the potential for upsets is more realistic because of the lack of a home court advantage. So, a 6 beating a 3, is not crazy. And honestly, if Portland gets through Memphis, which they should, that's a hell of a tough first-round matchup for the Lakers, because this is not the same Portland team from the regular season. Nurkic is back, Melo is playing better, and Damian Lillard's playing on a whole other level. So I know that's probably more breakdown than you need, but a Trailblazers-Lakers first round is almost a 50-50.
I forgot what game I did against. I think it was I forgot it was someone versus Portland, and I think the team was kind of tanking a little bit because they wanted Portland to play. Like they were 9, and they wanted to make sure that they were definitely 8 and not 7. So they wanted Portland to play the Lakers because they knew it would be tougher for the Lakers than to play Memphis or Dallas or something. So, but I want to do something. Talking about we didn't talk about it, but we're pretty strict here with the masks, and sometimes this is what I feel like the people that wear the masks and don't wear the masks. That's what is going on here at the bubble. So remember this episode from the Twilight Zone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's it. Those are the people wearing the masks, and they're like crazy angry at people who aren't wearing the mask. So
Just
anyway,
got one thing to say: mask it or casket.
what is it?
Mask it or casket.
Okay.
My
Good
opinion.
one,
And
Lou.
that's as far as we'll go with that conversation. We're going to keep everything calm here tonight.
By the way, the single no hitter is now down to a nobody no hitter.
What happened?
Couple singles by the Cubs have runners on first and third with one out, bottom five to down 1-0 to the Brewers.
All right, so let's say we're going to wrap it up soon. We've been on for a while. What do you think the MLB, because we're here with the NBA bubble, what do you think with the MLB? How do you think they should handle playoffs? Because they've been having problems.
Serious
and,
problem.
and they've been suspending and how do you think they should handle it? Have you guys put any thought into that? I have a little thought into it.
I have
they
an
should just
idea,
keep
but I
doing
don't
what they're
have a way
doing.
to do. I don't have a way to do it. The NBA has proved that the bubble works. The NHL has proved that a bubble works. There's got to be a way that they.
What's going on with the NHL? Explain how the NHL is, because they're doing it different than the NBA.
Differently, but they have two bubbles. So you have the Western Conference, which is based out of Edmonton's Rogers Place. Every Western team that made it are all playing their games, multiple a day, and nobody leaves the bubble they have set up like you guys have down in Orlando. The Eastern Conference right now is based out of Toronto and the Air Canada Center. So the only way the bubble gets broken is when they figure out how East versus West for the Stanley Cup. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not privy to know, but I have sources that I could find out. But that's how they're doing their bubble. And they've tested, just like NBA, complete success, healthy. You don't have guys going out on the town.
Very little breaching.
There's no breaching at all. I
got something about the NHL, though. I can't stand that, like, the Sharks play the Kings 6 times or 8 times or something, and they play another team 1 time. I don't like that.
Well, that's a whole different argument, because Todd, that's all about.
That's not the case, Todd. Are you talking about in the bubble? Because that's not the kind of schedule they had at all.
He's talking about in general.
Just a regular.
In the regular season before the bubble, every team in all sports plays the teams in their own division more than the teams in the other.
No, but in the NHL, it's like overdone.
Well, I think they play them 5 times. So
and they don't play a home and away with everybody. They play like they'll play the Rangers in LA or Madison Square Garden, and that's it. And I disagree with that. I think
the schedule changed slightly when they realigned to 4 divisions from 6, but it's not really an extreme difference. Like in baseball, you play the teams in your own division on a normal regular season 18 or 19 times each.
Oh, yeah,
that's a much larger percentage than what the NHL is doing.
I would personally like to see a home and home with everybody that's not in your division, or do what they do in football and say you're going to play the Metro division, or you're going to play the West Metro. You know what I mean? If they did that, I'd be totally for that. I do think the Hawks playing Montreal once a year is a joke. The Hawks now playing Detroit. Chicagoans will go into any game against any opponent and still shout Detroit sucks. So, I mean, that's a rivalry that should be more than 1 game a year. So I agree with what you're saying. But, that's
how I look at it. I just don't want to see the Sharks and the Kings every other week. So anyway, the MLB playoff bubble, they really need to do a bubble. They need to stick.
They have to.
They have to. You got to put 4 teams in one stadium or 6, however they're going to do it. You can't be traveling around. The TV crews can't be traveling around. People got to be stuck in one spot. There's no fans anyway, so pick a neutral site. It doesn't matter what home and away is. You switch off home road each game. But it doesn't matter where you play. There's no fans, so play in a bubble at this point. Limit the possibility of any infections and just get it done.
Yep.
So they're traveling, they're getting problems, and I think it's great that there's 2 control groups, and you could see obviously what's going on with no hiding or faking numbers or anything, because it's great. Because if anyone, you can't say an MLB player died. He's got COVID, but he died. You can't say it. You can't make it up, because
Todd, do you know what the Cleveland Indians just went through this past week?
New logo?
No, well, no. With their players, their COVID situation. What? That's a whole nother issue.
Yeah, I know, right?
Do you know what happened to 2 of their players? One of their players, name escapes me, was found to have gone out. He broke protocol, left the hotel, whatever they had prepared, and he was with a guy named Mike Clevenger, who's a pitcher, and they interviewed him. Clevenger.
You notice how many baseball players are like having Eppinger in their name or something?
Yeah, well,
I never met an Eppinger, but
Clevinger. But Clevenger made a comment about this guy going out and getting caught. Well, then they find out that Clevenger was with them. So the Indians sent both of them back home. They're out.
Hey, you could be a Seattle Seahawk.
Yeah,
could be a Seattle Seahawk and sneak a girl into your.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
Right.
Put her in.
I mean, how stupid can you get? If you take your job seriously, then
who's not going to recognize a girl walking through the hall in a helmet? You know, come on. She doesn't look like a player.
Young, dumb, and full of cum.
Definitely has a different body.
Now, Todd, I will tell you this because I have this on extremely high, very good authority. A friend of mine is very close friends. They're both doctors. This friend of mine, is friends with the Cubs team physician. And he says to me last night, we were having dinner, and he goes, name the one team that has not had one case of COVID. He thinks he's going to fool us. I said, the Cubs. He goes, how do you know that? I said, anybody who's a Cub fan knows that. I said, but why are they the only team? Because, again, he's friends with this team doctor. He said, because this guy doesn't take any crap. He wants these guys to take this seriously. So they're pushing it from the doctor to the GM to, Ted, Theo, and everybody all the way down. These guys are taking it seriously. Now, if somebody gets it, because they're exposed, who knows? Again, there's ways it could happen. But the Cubs are taking it seriously. And I'm not trying to be a homer, but I'm just stating the fact. They were the only team to not have a COVID-related injury.
On that note,
1-1, by the way, in Chicago. Bases loaded, bottom of the 5th. Cubs.
Thanks, Harry.
Oh, you're welcome.
Wait, what is it? Oh, so wait, is it an important game?
No, it's against the Brewers. We hate them. That's about all there is.
I used to like that old Milwaukee stadium. It was so old, and
Milwaukee County. Oh yeah,
I liked it.
Did you ever try doing a football game out of there?
I thought it was great.
No, never.
Horrible.
That place was working on Mississippi Park.
Like at the stadium in Birmingham.
Well, so before we wrap it up tonight, I think it was a great night. I'm going to show. There was an issue going on. We're going to have some fun. We're going to wrap it up on a fun little thing. So I don't know what state it was, but somebody called. They were at the beach. This is a non-sports. We're just going to wrap it up on some fun. So there was something going on at the beach at a city, and
beach.
And someone called and complained about these 2 girls being overexposed, and they had the cops go, and so these 2 girls were being told to put more clothes on. Now, something ridiculous about why are people? You're at the beach, right? Why do people care? Why do people care what you're wearing at the beach? You know, if you go into the beach, that's what you're going to see. So there's two ridiculous things. Number one, why are you like this girl? They wanted her to put a top on.
No, a bottom.
You know, well, this one they wanted a top because she was see-through. So, and then
I'm not gonna say anything that is a little ridiculous. I mean, you're at the beach. This isn't like
you're at the beach.
It's almost 2021.
Right. I see this at the beach all the time. Right.
Well, you also live in California, so you see a lot worse than that, I'm sure.
So
they
right.
go topless. In Europe, they're topless. It's like this country's so backwards.
Right. They ended up handcuffing him. But my other thing is, instead of fighting with the cop, like, you know what? At this point, instead of arguing, just put on some shorts. Like, I get it. It's inhibiting your freedom, but just put on some shorts and another top. I mean, what do you think? Like, I understand the individualism of it, but is it really that important to fight with people instead of just putting on a pair of shorts? Put on some little shorts. You know, you can still look sexy and cute, but, and what do you think? Like, you think they should have put on shorts or what? Or a top and not been see-through?
It was Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, so that should answer your question.
Oh,
so you're aware of it, Lou, right?
Yeah, I'm very aware of it. I watched the whole video.
So what's Myrtle Beach? Like, why are they very conservative?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lindsey Graham State.
Oh, I'm sure he's gone out in a thong.
He might have. I got news for you.
I guarantee it. He may have done it at home, prancing around his friends, but I guarantee that.
But yeah, I mean, they're at the beach. They weren't bothering anybody. But you do have to understand, they were not resisting. They were questioning it. The police decided to handcuff the lady, and they let him go because they had a copy of the city's rules, and it said nudity, and neither one of them was nude.
Right. Well, so the one was sheer. The top was see-through, so I can understand that.
Yeah.
And you know, you could.
But they made a rational statement to the police, and they finally said, "Okay, we're letting you go."
Right. Well, and they should let him go. And the cops probably didn't want to do it, but you know, it's just ridiculous. Like everyone gets carried away, and nobody wants to compromise.
That's true.
Just compromise. You know what? Don't be such a hard head with the thong. And if you are, just put on some shorts.
Bro, what you eating?
That's it. Andy, you got a question? What are you eating? Looks like a salad of some sort.
I'm eating my dinner salad, bro.
Nice. Hey, by the way, Cubs are now up 3-1, bases loaded, only one out. So, go Cubs.
Oh my God.
Right?
I got to tell you, when I saw I don't know if it was a great producer, but it was a Boston Red Sox game. And I remember this is when Sosa and McGuire were chasing the thing. And
home run. Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't a big home. It was like he was chasing. And it was Boston probably against the Angels, Red Sox and the Angels. I was doing graphics. And it was like one out, bases loaded, top of the ninth, and the Sox were down. And they get a call. What was that?
Tommy Tedesco was probably the director.
And it was who was the producer though? Would you remember that?
Wasn't Paul Lucy? It might have been Ken London.
Okay, it might have been. So they get a call, says, "Okay, you have to throw. Sosa's up. You have to throw to the network or whatever it is." And he goes, "It's one out, top of the ninth, down by 1 or 2, whatever it was, bases loaded. I'm not throwing it." And he stuck with it. And I really admired that. I think because, you know, a local fan probably would rather see their team, I know I would, than Sammy Sosa just hitting, you know, on the chase, you know, because he's already 0 for 2 of the day. I just really admire when producers take a stand sometimes, you know, whether it's throwing to the studio or it's a big thing and they don't want to throw it to the studio or throw it to another event. I just think it's
they have backbone.
You know what, Todd? I back in the day when the MidCon was still around. Well, we were doing a game out in somewhere out in Western Illinois near the Quad Cities. And Bob Albrecht, I don't know if you remember Bob. He was a cameraman. You know, Bob directed, produced a lot of Cubs broadcasts and other things.
Yep.
Great guy.
Yep.
So
Good
Bob
guy.
is producing the game for me. I'm his coordinator. And back then we were Fox Sports Chicago. It's before Fox left town. And we had some issue with a American Airlines logo that we had put on. And we get the call from Mother Fox yelling and bitching at Bob about why he made his logo the way he did. And Bob gave him the business back. He's like, no, we're in the middle of the show. We are not changing the logo. This is the way the logo looks. And we changed it for the next show. You know, I think maybe John Steinbrecher, who was now the John is with the MAC, but then he was with the MidCon as commissioner. He may have complained to Fox or something, and Bob just blew it off. So, yeah, sometimes you do just have to kind of stand up for your production and say, no, this is wrong. And then you're going to get hell when you go back to the office. I know that.
You think so?
Oh, I know so. I know people get hell when they go back to their bosses and when things happen. Well, you know what? I get that you did this, but
they have the confidence to do it.
Mm-hmm. It's not like they did something illegal or something bad, but you know, everybody, it's not just Fox, but everyone, a lot of the companies that I've worked for over the years are all, this is the way we do it. And if you don't do it this way, screw it.
This is how we do it.
I mean, come on, ESPN's the same way, at least regional. When I was doing all their plus and, you know, business out of Charlotte, they were the same way. So yeah, sometimes you got to just kind of stick to your guns and take the crap when it comes.
On that
note, so I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. It was great. I love the conversation. It was fantastic. It went on. What was that?
Sorry, I was late.
Have fun in DC. Have fun with your
Thanks.
red
I can't wait for that. Yeah, get my little red hat. You know,
get your red hat and make sure you have your tie. And
and well, one day we're going to talk to Rick, see what cases he's working on, and
I want to hear about the new Judge Wapner, whoever your person is now. I don't even.
That's Marilyn Milian, same judge, but I won't be back there for a month. I'm going up to the person.
I'd like to be the judge. I want to be a judge.
Try out.
Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge.
I want to do some online cases. I want to do some online cases. So, but I want to thank everybody. It was great. I was hoping I might do it a little early.
You are the judge, though, Todd. You're running the whole thing here. You know, it's like,
it's fun. I love doing it. I'm glad we get people on, and we get a lot of watchers and a lot of viewers, and
that's great.
I want it to grow. I want people to share it, and I think the schedule is going to be pretty tough next week, but maybe we'll talk a little NBA as the playoffs start up, and we'll talk some other stuff and some fun stuff, and we're going to sign off. Hopefully next time everybody gets a little glass of wine and loosens up for our wine and cheesy hour, or swine and cheesy hour.
Right.
I call it swine because we're kind of like a bunch of TV pigs or stuff.
Hey, I've got my unsweetened iced tea. Nothing else in it.
Right, and we got that's great, and so we got all our representatives from around the country. We got Chicago, we got New York, we got Florida and Connecticut to DC, we got New Orleans. We got
New Orleans.
I love, that's one of my favorites. I have two favorite cities, New Orleans and Boston. I love New Orleans. I love Boston.
Like Boston again, driving Boston.
I just love the food. I love the food in both places. Cities, though. I judge places by food. Chicago is good Italian, but I just overall, Boston's got Italian and seafood. New Orleans, I could go for grilled oysters and oysters every friggin' night at Acme and the other one. Every night I could do it. I love Cafe Du Monde.
Todd, come to Chicago. I'll take you out for Greek on Halstead.
I let the Greek go out of the room this morning.
But I better take you to
I'm game for that. I'm game for that. I'm game for that. And last year we were in Chicago for the playoffs, and sorry we didn't get together, but next time when we do Chicago, if we got Bulls, and I'm open to wherever. I think it's great.
I'll come down and take you down to Greektown. There's
I always thought there should be a website that a freelancer's website that us TV guys could go to. We go, okay, these are the good hotels. These are the great restaurants.
Yeah.
And,
there's a guy that I did that did the lighting on Glory. And
Glory Hole, what?
Site. The Glory Kickboxing I used to work on. That he has a website that does all these. He does reviews of restaurants around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does the lighting for Bellator right now.
Yeah, I just thought it was like a freelancers.com type of thing would be, so, but that's how I judge a lot of cities. There's not a lot to do. But one thing I learned, we all travel, is to take advantage of where you're going. A lot of people wake up at 6 a.m, 5 a.m, go catch a plane, get out of town. And why do that? Why, you're in a town, go enjoy it. Don't kill yourself to get home. You're going to get home.
Some of us have to get home for reasons.
Right, but you're out. Yeah, but I think that people should take more advantage than they do, because you're here we go. That's what we want. Judge Todd Father. That's right.
Very good, Albert. Very good.
Right.
That's
great. Maybe you know what? I don't have it set up, so I got rid of my karaoke. I was going to go out on that, but I'm not going to. So I just want to say thank you for everybody. We're going to get together again. We'll send the invites out. Hopefully, we'll share it. Everybody could share these.
Thank you, Todd Father.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming on. Thank you. And I got something to.
You too, Judge.
I'm going to sign up in a way that I realize something, that we are just kids who grew up. When we're younger, we look at our parents and we don't realize, we think they're like adults, they're born into adulthood. But as you get older, you realize that you're just you, and you get older and you're just you. You have new experiences, you mature more, but we don't suddenly turn into adults. Responsibilities come upon us. We have to take them, and we have to be responsible for other people, and we learn, but we're still kids at heart. That's especially with sports. We love sports. We grow up with sports. We remember sports and everything. Just people that are not sports they're still kids at heart at whatever they love. So everyone should just remember, we're just kids who grew up, and that's it. So I'm going to sign off on that note. Don't text and drive. Don't drink and drive. And everybody be good. And I love you all. And thank you for joining.
Be well.
Be well, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Safe travels, everyone.